everybody. I'm WBZ-TV meteorologist Terry Eliasen, and we are alerting today for poor air quality, something that we don't see a lot of around here, but unfortunately we're going to be dealing with, I think, for the next couple of days. Let's take you right to the very latest. You can see outside. Look at this over Gillette Stadium. Very murky, hazy, almost yellow-orange looking sky here. And this is going to be kind of the case off and on today as that smoke plume moves through the area. Boston, not quite as yellow, but you can definitely see just the murk, the milky skies. And yeah, so that's the rule for today. We have an air quality alert that was issued earlier today from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection. It is for the entire state of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. And essentially, this is for that wildfire smoke from Canada. This is all due to it's about 800 or so wildfires burning now in parts of Canada, and a lot of that smoke is being directed directly into our area. So a little bit more detail on the air quality alert. Today they're issued mostly for unhealthy air for sensitive groups. So we're talking about children and older adults with asthma, lung or heart disease. And if you are in that group, I would definitely recommend that you limit your time outdoors. And if you have to stay outdoors for any length of time, you might want to consider wearing a mask. Now, what is the alert for? It's for fine particulates. And these are very small, about 2.5 microns or smaller. Very, very small particles, air pollutant particles that are today, because of the wildfire, that are elevated. And so these 2.5 micron particles, they're smaller than the human hair. They're very, very fine, very small. Certainly nothing that you can't see them individually. But these can cause, at higher levels, can cause lots of respiratory issues, especially for those folks that have sort of heightened sensitivity. So they can penetrate deep into the lungs because of their small size. Good news is that home air filters and most car air filters are very good at sort of protecting us from this stuff, and they should easily be able to filter out and block a lot of that, a lot of those particulates. You can see the time lapse as we look starting this morning, and you're going to notice today, this is sort of the way we're going to go today. Brighter at times, darker at times, yellow-orangish, as you can see at around 11 a.m. here at times. So from place to place and area to area, you can see just right now, just before the broadcast here at 11:30, getting awfully ominous looking, awfully yellow looking. And why, if you're wondering why it turns yellow or orange, it's because when we have a lot of those fine particulates or pollutants in the air, the blue wavelengths are the shorter wavelengths, and they're not able to penetrate through that thick sort of haze. And so what we get are the longer wavelengths of light, which are the yellows and the oranges, and that's why we're seeing the yellow-orange sky right about now, and off and on we'll see it through today. You can see there is a direct, so the wildfires are located up in northern Minnesota, south central Canada, and we have a direct line of clouds and smoke coming literally right from there into New England. And there's two things going on. There's a weather front that extends from here up through northern parts of the Great Lakes, and there's also, of course, that smoke plume. So if you look at the visible satellite imagery, you see two things. You see some clouds, which are the lighter sort of white areas, and then you can see the smoke, which is sort of the less obvious, sort of more gray, overcasty type stuff. And it's sort of hard to unhook the two, but if you put the two together, that's why we get all the haze today. So here's what I was talking about. Those shorter wavelengths are not, the blue light, the blue wavelength is not reaching it to the ground today. So that's why at times it'll look murky and almost yellow-orangish as those longer wavelengths make it through. So currently the wildfires, like I said, are mostly in parts of northern Minnesota, south central Canada, and then there are several wildfires that are burning up in parts of northwestern Canada as well. And the winds are, as you can see, are coming directly from that area down into New England. It's really just a perfect setup for fires in that area and smoke to be plumed and sent into New England. Current air quality levels are mostly moderate. That's the yellow you see around the area. But at times today, we will definitely sneak into that, the reds and the oranges as well. The forecast, it keeps sort of varying depending upon, the thickness of the plume at any given time. But needless to say, for the entire area today, you really need to be kind of aware of the situation here. There's the area. You can see there are dozens, if not hundreds, of uncontrolled burning wildfires right there, sort of east of Winnipeg and just trickling into the northern parts of Minnesota. And that plume is just nasty coming off of it. You can see really the worst conditions are from parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan and into New York State, where the air quality is very, very poor up there. We're sort of on the eastern edge of this, and we're going to sort of waffle in and out of the plume over the next couple of days. As we take a closer look here, I'll zoom in on New England here on our next map. So this afternoon, you can see sort of periods of thicker. The red indicates a thicker plume. And then as we get later into this evening, we may sort of get into like a better area, sort of more healthier air quality area overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, look at this, the models are bringing in another sort of wave, another plume of that smoke. Late morning, midday tomorrow through the afternoon. So tomorrow could be a day very similar to today. And then finally, we think by Friday morning and during the day Friday, a lot of that smoke will push south of the area and hopefully clear us out for the weekend. So current temperatures, yeah, we're in the low 80s. If that wasn't for that smoke, we'd be forecasting well into the 90s today. I think there's still a chance if we get some decent sort of lesser smoky moments today, this afternoon, we could sneak up towards 90. We did nick 90 yesterday, briefly later in the afternoon when that smoke plume started to clear out a little bit. So we could do the same thing today. But needless to say, we're not forecasting mid to upper 90s anymore like we once were. So that's sort of the recap. One last look here at the satellite imagery. You can see we're going to be in the smoky haze for the next several hours, and I do think it's going to take probably until later this afternoon and this evening before we get a bit of a break, and then, unfortunately, another wave tomorrow. So we'll keep you updated here along the way with this air quality alert. We'll have the very latest coming up at noon, and again, of course, tonight at 5 and 6 with Eric Fisher.